All right, so we're recording. I'm going to go ahead and get started. You guys all know me. I'm Adrienne. Hopefully you know me. And I'm a trainer with LuLaRoe, and I am coming up on my 2-year anniversary in October. Crazy. But I've really spent the last couple months kind of regrouping and focusing on kind of finding new customers and building up my group, and a lot of that has had to do with in-home pop-ups. And so I want to talk a little bit about that tonight, because I know that this company started, like, Deanne's vision is in-home pop-ups. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not here to bash anything that has to do with online. Like, I do online sales, album, live, I do it all because I really believe if you want to be successful, you need to be versatile, because some people like to shop online and some people like to shop in person. But I believe the core and the heart of this business is in-home pop-ups, because that is Deanne's heart, Deanne's vision. 20 years ago when she was doing dress parties, it was show up at somebody's house with all these dresses right before Easter and sell them to people, like, in their garage or wherever. So, and the beauty of an in-home pop-up is that it creates community. Women get together, they build each other up, and it gets new people in front of the clothes. And I think that, honestly, like, when people see, feel, touch these clothes, like, it just makes such a difference. So I just want to talk a little bit about, first of all, I think some people struggle with booking in-home pop-ups. I don't know. So obviously, like, Lauren and Taylor, you guys are, like, just got your inventory about to launch. Rebecca's been in a couple months. Shannon's been in a month or so. And so you guys might be at kind of various places. For me, like, someone who's been in it for a while, like, certainly in the beginning, you do have people who will even reach out to you and say, like, hey, can I book a pop-up, which is amazing. But there obviously is a point where you have to ask. And I think part of what people struggle with is, like, getting over the ask. I just met a local lady who's an author, and she's like a motivational speaker, and she wrote a book called Get Off Your Ask, ASK, which I think is hilarious. But it's basically a compilation of stories throughout her life where, like, something wouldn't have happened if she hadn't asked for it. And so it was a really unique perspective that kind of showed me, like, I think sometimes we just have to get over this, like, fear of asking. Because at the end of the day, like, you could ask somebody to book a pop-up, and the worst thing that can happen is that they're going to say no. But I think it's like this, like, just this mentality. Like, I know for me personally, I always was annoyed by direct salespeople, which is the ultimate irony of this whole thing. But it's just like the idea of, like, oh, I don't want to bother someone, or, like, I don't want them to be offended. Like, I think we just have to get over it, because at the end of the day, we know that when someone hosts a party, like, we're able to bless them in a way that they get free clothes. We're able to bless all their friends, that they get to come and get together, that they get to try on new things, and that it's, like, a really fun occasion. So, like, I think we have to kind of switch our mentality of, like, it's okay to ask people to book pop-ups. Like, don't be afraid of that. And so, I think we all kind of have different tactics for asking for the pop-up. Actually, Shannon can probably even share. She's, like, amazing at booking a pop-up at a pop-up. And for some reason, I actually suck at that. Like, I don't know. At checkout, like, I mention it, but, like, I don't know, maybe I don't just, like, say, like, pick a date, what are you doing? Like, I don't know, but I think we all have different tactics, obviously. So I just thought I'd talk about a few of those. I had notes somewhere, I'm sitting on them. But anyway, so I wanted to tell you a little bit about this pop-up I had last week that totally, like, rejuvenated my mojo, because I think sometimes we can have pop-ups, and, like Rebecca said, she had a pop-up and it was a dud, right? And don't get me wrong, like, we all have those, like, where the only person that shows up was, like, the hostess and her mom, and then it's like, what do you do? But I had booked a pop-up last week, like a good old-fashioned pop-up, like, packed up my car, sweating bullets, like, went to this lady's house. Everyone she invited was a stranger to me. I didn't know a single one of them. And she had told me, like, I think I'll have, like, 15 to 20 people there. And I was kind of like, yeah, okay. And she legitimately did. Just, like, rare, but it was like all her neighbors and her friends. So, I don't know. It just really, like, I had a $1,400 party. I sold over 30 items. It reminded me of like why we do this, because all these women had never tried LuLaRoe, and they were all like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. Oh, like almost all of them, if I said, have you heard of it? They're like, oh, I've kind of seen it on Facebook, but I've never been to a party. And I thought about that. Like, how many times have people been invited for LuLaRoe parties on Facebook? But like what gets them to buy is going to a pop-up. So I just think, the more that we can book pop-ups, the more successful our business is going to be. So I'll get back to that pop-up in a minute, but I just wanted to kind of run you through kind of who I've been targeting lately, because obviously home office kind of, they talk about the 72-hour game plan, which is essentially like make a list of people to ask. And sometimes I feel like I've run through that list and like there's no one left on that list. But so what I did, which was a little different, is I went back through like the past month of invoices, and I just decided to find a couple people who were like newer to LuLaRoe, like maybe they had just bought for the first time, or like they only had leggings. And I think those are really good people to target, because you're able to kind of open up the whole other world to them and be like, well, if all you've ever tried is the leggings, you should see all the skirts and dresses and you can get them for free. So I'm actually going to read this to you. So I messaged a customer who only has leggings. And this is what I said, and I'm a little bit shocked at her response. I just had somebody message me, do you have anything in coral? Yeah, I would say I have coral. It's like such a generic statement. Okay, so I messaged her, and this was like Facebook message, right? Because I don't have her phone number or whatever. And I just said, hey, Caitlin, I hope you're having a good day. I was just thinking, I know you love the leggings. Would you want to host a LuLaRoe party sometime so you can get free clothes? It could be in person at my house or yours, or online if needed. I was kind of put that like, And I said, you could co-host with your mom, because I know her mom buys leggings too. And I said, just a thought. And here's what she responded. I would be interested in that. I've been thinking about having a party. I just wasn't sure about it all. Like, how does it work? And I'm like, you've been thinking of hosting a party? Like, what if I hadn't asked, right? But if you think about it, like, somebody who's new to LuLaRoe might not know the process. They might not understand how a pop-up works. And I think it's like one of those aha moments to me where I go, okay, let me tell you how it works. I bring the stuff, you invite friends. It's really easy. But I think we need to try to almost like pretend our customers don't have any idea of like anything about our business, and be aiming to always educate them on things. So I explained everything to her, and then get this. Then she says, does it cost anything for you to have a party? Or like she thought she needed to pay me to have a party. And I was like, no. Like, this is free. You invite your friends. I was just almost like, really? This lady's a teacher. And I'm like, invite all your teacher friends. We'll have it when school starts. Like, hello, ding, ding. And then I had another lady that I messaged too. And she said the same thing, because she just recently, that whole process of like, they have never heard of LuLaRoe, and then they get a pair of leggings, and then they're suddenly like, oh my God, I love these things. I think if you can catch people in that moment and be like, by the way, I know you love leggings. How about hosting a party so you can get some free stuff? So I said that to another girl, and she said the same thing. I'd just been thinking about that, but I didn't know how it worked. So I think I'm going to try to do a better job in my VIP group of like explaining pop-ups. Because I think, first of all, posting a graphic in your group just saying, who wants to fill my calendar? Like, that's not asking for a pop-up. Like, sure, you can post that and you might get some people, but like, just that is not enough to get your calendar full. Like, you have to actually like make a list of people and actually write them a message. And I find it's better and more effective if it's a customized, like, personal message. Like, I had said something about, you could co-host with your mom, because, I know that she buys and her mom buys. Like, that wasn't a copy and paste kind of situation. That was me thinking about her situation and, offering her an opportunity to get free clothes. And so she said yes, and we booked a party for September. And so I'm really glad that I asked, because like, what if she had been thinking about it and then, oh, she runs into some other consultant who asks her, right? I mean, then I would have been kind of like mad at myself for not asking. So I think it's good to kind of like make yourself a list and send people like a message and have it be personalized. And also try to give like some options. So if they come back and say like, yeah, tell me more about that, then you want to give them actual dates that are on your calendar. Like, do you like this date or this date? Like, don't make it open-ended. Like, how about sometime in August? Like, you need to be like, I have this date and this date open, so that you can actually like pinpoint a date. So I do think, so that's what I wanted to say in terms of like messaging people and actually like asking for a pop-up. The worst thing that people can say is no, or, you know, they could say something like, oh, I'm really busy. How about, you know, in the fall or something. So then you make a little note and then you follow back up with them. But I think some other things that we can do to educate our groups. So I'm going to try to do a better job of, you know, posting pictures at a pop-up of what it looks like, or a video at a pop-up of like, here we are, and look at all these fun, you know, ladies are drinking wine and they're trying on clothes. I mean, who wouldn't want to have that in their house? I also saw somebody post the other day that I thought was really cute, and it was like a picture of the hostess, and it was like, you know, this is Jane. Jane hosted LuLaRoe pop-up, you know, and got all these free clothes. Be like Jane, you know, like that little like cartoon type thing. And I thought, oh, that's really cute. Like, I don't know that I do a good job of posting like, here's this hostess and she got all this stuff. Don't you want to be like her? Like, yeah, that was a smart one. But also, a couple months ago, I posted a picture of like me with all my bags packed up, and I said something about like got my workout for the day, and I said, who wants me to come to your house? And I booked a pop up from that because there was a girl who goes, oh, you travel? I'm like, yeah, I travel. Did you, like, you didn't know I travel? That's my fault because I don't educate my customers that I will travel for pop-ups. So I think we need to like do a better job of not assuming that our customers just know what a LuLaRoe pop-up is, that they know that they can host. But I think at the end of the day, they need a personal invitation and an ask, as opposed to just like a graphic and then you just cross your fingers and hope that somebody will respond. Does that make sense? And obviously at any point, if anybody has suggestions, ideas, things that have worked, like please chime in. I also want to talk a little bit about pop-up prep and knowing your audience. So when you have a pop-up booked and, you know, you see like people on Facebook and RSVP or whatever, if this is a hostess that you don't know, like I'll give you a perfect example. So this pop-up that I had this past Thursday, she was a woman that I've met out in the community, and I think she's probably like, late 40s, early 50s. And so when I kind of looked at her RSVP list, I kind of got the idea that like it was probably a lot of her friends and neighbors that were a similar age. And like, I'm not trying to be like, I don't know. All I'm trying to say is I messaged her and asked her, can you tell me about your guests? Are they working women? Stay-at-home women? Do they have kids? Should I bring my kids line? Like, I want to know my audience. And the reason that I asked was I can't take all these clothes with me on the road. Like, it doesn't physically all fit in my car anymore. And so I wanted to be particular about what I took and also about what I wore. And that's just, to me, like being a little bit smarter about how I go about selling. So at this pop-up, you know, she messaged me back and said, yeah, it's working women. And no, I don't really think, you know, there's a need for a lot of kids' clothes. So I just brought kids' leggings, which I ended up selling some. But so I know that in my kind of like what I've seen of you know, like my mom and people that buy, you know, clothes, like they love the Lindsay and not as much like on some of the other things. So I know I specifically wore an Amelia with a Lindsay. And it's funny because lately I've been selling the heck out of Carly's because Carly's are amazing, right? But I just thought, you know what? Like a Carly will sell itself. I need to wear something else. And so I wore an Amelia, and of course, everybody that walked up to me, I showed them this is my dress, and it has pockets, and I'm wearing a layering piece. It's the Lindsay, and I ended up selling 5 Amelias and 3 Lindsays. And I ended up, of course, I sold some Carly's too, but I think it was because I was kind of strategic in what I took. I took Cassie skirts because they're working women. You know, I took Julia's. Like I took things that I thought would be appropriate for that crowd. So I think it's important to message your hostess and ask her, because if it's like a younger crowd, stay-at-home moms and that kind of thing, like you might want to have more kids stuff with you, or you might want to make sure you pack all your leggings. Like I did not take all my leggings. I just took like 2 out of 3 bins or whatever, and I left some at home because and it's interesting, like some people bought leggings, but I really did not sell very many leggings. It was mostly skirts and dresses. So I think it's important to know your audience and to ask your hostess that. What else? Also, in terms of like pop-up prep, for those of you who are like me or just getting started. So the in-home pop-up is like, after a while you get in your groove of like, you get there, you set up, but I will tell you, like, it is a workout, and I freaking sweat. Like, Shannon, do you? Okay. So
Yeah.
like, I'm even sweating right now. So there are, no joke, I actually have like my own little like pop-up like side bag I bring with myself that consists of deodorant, powder, an extra pair of underwear. Like, no joke, I get sweaty. Sometimes I even wear like a specific outfit to the pop-up, and I change before the pop-up starts, like depending on how hot it is. I always wear my hair up, always have a hair tie. I take a different pair of shoes to wear during the pop-up than I do for loading. Like, it's kind of funny, but you know, you'll figure it out as you go. But like, I've learned the hard way sometimes of like literally being like whipping, wrenching, like, because it's summer right now. Now, in the winter, by the way, you're going to be in snow boots, and you're going to be like a whole different, because you're going to be sweating underneath your winter coat. So that's a whole nother dynamic. But I just thought it might be helpful for you guys to know that, like, I literally take like, and then once I get all set up, I said, I'll be right back. I go to the bathroom and I like get myself to like not be a disgusting excuse of a human being. What else was I going to say? Oh, also, I think in terms of like being smarter about pop-ups, like, you know, it takes a lot of work to load up your car. So try to book your calendar in such a way that you have pop-ups like back to back, so you can leave your car loaded, like a Thursday, Friday, or like Saturday, Sunday, or even do like 2 on a Saturday or 2 on a Sunday, so that you only have to be unloading and loading so much. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of us have amazing husbands who do the loading and unloading, but like not all of us do. And I think it's, you know, we want to be as smart as possible when it comes to like, you know, the hard labor. What other things do I want to share with you guys? I think some of the best ways, obviously, to book a pop-up like at checkout. So Shannon, do you want to explain your little like you do your envelopes and like what you say to people? Because I think that might be helpful actually.
Sure. I actually have my little envelopes right here. So whenever people check out, I always, you know, like they tell us, I have my calendar sitting out there, and then I just have a little sign. It's right here, actually. It says, do you wear clothes or know people who do? Do you love getting free things? Do you love to have fun? And then it just looks like this, and people read it while I'm, you know, checking them out. And then I have all my little envelopes sitting out, which, you know, of course I can't find them, but and then it just says, you know, pick a date. And then there are 6 different envelopes that I have. Whatever, I can't find them. But in each envelope, it just has like a hostess reward in it. So like in number 6, I get like they get a pair of free leggings. Number 2, it's going to be double hostess rewards. And so what I've noticed too is like the first person that does it, like everybody kind of gathers around because it's like an exciting thing. You know, everyone's like, oh, like what's she going to get? And then I just take that one and put it in a basket, so you know no one else will pick that one. But it kind of just like builds excitement too. And I mean, at my last pop up I had, there were only 6 people that were there, and 4 of the 6 ladies booked pop ups. And everybody got like an extra hostess incentive. So I mean, and it's
anything extra to the hostess, or say anything to the hostess about like, you know, asking her who she thinks would be good, or like, do you have a conversation about that beforehand?
I offer the hostess a free pair of leggings for whoever books. So at the 2 parties ago, when those 4 women booked, Anita got 4 pairs of leggings in addition to the 3 free items that she got. So she walked in, you know, 7 items. So I think offering the hostess those incentives too, kind of, you know, it just kind of helps them talk up your parties.
That's interesting. So lately I've been offering the hostess if she has 10 people in attendance, she gets an extra free pair of leggings. Like I thought that would be a good way to actually make sure she does her job of getting people there.
Right.
Um, but I almost wonder if it would be more effective to switch that and make it a booking incentive. Maybe that would help with like filling the calendar and that kind of thing. So
And what I've done too is I've offered like in my in-home parties, I always post like typically like it's been like 4 or 5 days before the party. I'll post if you bring a friend, and if you or your friend make a purchase, then if you brought the friend, you get a pair of leggings and your friend gets a pair of leggings. And so that and my last 2 pop-ups, I've had one person bring a friend, and the last pop-up I had at my house, so it was a couple weeks ago on a Sunday. My friend Tracy brought her friend Jen. She never heard of LuLaRoe before. Tracy's a really frequent buyer of mine, but Jen ended up spending $200, and she was like obsessed with all of the clothes. Tracy got a free pair of leggings. Jen got a free pair of leggings, and she'll be a good customer.
hey, Robin, can you mute yourself? Maybe I should mute.
Okay, sorry.
I'll mute her.
Right, my God.
You can mute me?
I'm gonna try.
I'll just get off real quick.
No! Don't get off. I can
I'm
do
in a
it.
car wash. I'm trying to get it to work. It won't work. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'll mute you. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm doing my launch on Sunday. And I'm planning on doing the book a pop-up, pick a number thing. I can't think of a lot of different because I have put on my page that if you book a pop-up with me, you automatically get the 10% hostess rewards and a free pair of leggings just for booking. I can't really think of like a lot of other things like, okay, double hostess rewards, maybe like a top of your choice.
That's what I did. I did that. I did 50% off an item, buy one, get one free.
Okay. You don't do anything like, because I was going to do like right then and there, like $10 off your purchase then, but should you wait until their pop-up just so like they don't like cancel on you then after they get their reward or whatever?
I haven't done that, and I don't know. I mean, I feel like for me personally, if I get to the point where I can't book pop-ups anymore, then like I may like get to that point. But I feel like with you, especially just like starting, just personally, I think just maybe try it like offering it their party.
Okay. And another thing, I have a question. I've booked like, I think I have like 5. I need to look at it, but I think I have like 5 set dates for pop-ups. Sorry, that's my computer.
You're fine.
It is. But would it be bad that I don't offer them extra, like because they booked before my launch? Should I offer them extra rewards?
Yeah, I mean, like, so they probably have seen on your page that you're offering. Well, no, you're not. That's for your open house. So
I haven't put on my page that I'm gonna do that.
That's
gonna be a thing. Yeah.
I feel the same way. I never know.
That's hard. They already booked them. I would say if you do end up posting anything public, then you're going to want to be like, and anybody who's already booked with me, you get this too. But if that's just like some kind of incentive that you offer like at your launch or something, I don't think it would be too big of a deal. Because I've thought about that too. Like, okay, so if I'm at someone's pop-up and I suddenly start doing these like, oh, pick an envelope, but I didn't do that for her, then I'm going to feel kind of bad.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, man, I've got these 5 girls. They've already booked pop-ups. This is like, my thinking is obviously this is to get more from my launch. And I'm just like, should I give them more too? Like,
no, I mean, girl, like the fact that you have your launch and then you have 5 booked, like I think, like don't feel like you have to offer anybody anything extra right now. I mean, when you're right out of the gate and people want to book parties with you, like don't feel like you have to, throw in the whole sink because at this point people are wanting to host for you.
right.
But if like 6 months from now you're feeling a little bit like, oh, it's a little bit harder, I'm going to offer a little something extra. But like, I think, you've already got such a good kind of schedule going. Like, don't feel like you have to give everybody like everything in the world.
All right. Well, then I'm just going to stick with doing it for the girls who host at my launch then.
Yeah. I mean, are some of those people that you have parties booked for coming to your launch?
The one girl has RSVP'd.
You might just want to be kind of aware of that. And I mean, you'll figure it out. If she says anything, you'll be like, oh, girl, I'm going to get that to you too. I mean, whatever. Okay, so I use the free version of Zoom. So we have 7 more minutes. And I know I just kind of like spat a bunch of stuff at you, but I just like, I have started doing a lot more in-home pop-ups lately. I kind of have gone through like a dry spell earlier in the year, and I've really refocused, and I've been doing a lot more. And I just truly believe, like, if you want to be successful in this business, that's how you build this business. It's how you find new customers, because there are so many people that are still out there that have never heard of Luro or have never tried it on. And to me, the way you get a customer is meeting them in person, creating that relationship, and getting them to try it on at a pop-up, because then they like think of Luro and they think of you. And don't get me wrong, then they might find that there's 100 other groups out there they can join, but like ultimately they want to come back to you because they've created that relationship with you. So nothing against the online stuff. I have been personally, like, I am way closer to my goal this month because I had in-home pop-ups. And I do some in-home pop-ups at my house. Like, I give the hostess a choice. Like, do you want to have it at your place or mine? Obviously, it's way easier at mine. Like, yeah, I don't have to haul this. But I am finding that the ones where I do the work and take the inventory to someone's house are more successful because people are more comfortable going to their friend's house. Like, especially, like, if she has, like, a big old neighborhood cul-de-sac full of friends, they feel comfortable walking down the street to her house, not, like, driving across town to mine. Does that make sense?
That's what I was wondering, Adrienne, because I know that you have your big room set up with all your stuff, and I had thought about trying to offer, that, but I live in Black Lake. I feel like that's like out in the boonies for some people, and I'm like, I feel like I just wouldn't get as good of attendance, like one.
Right.
And two, I just feel like their friends might feel more comfortable, like in their friend's home instead of mine, who they don't know.
So if it's somebody that's in Westerville, like, I'll ask them, because in some instances they actually prefer it because then they don't have to clean their house. They don't have to make arrangements for their kids and all that kind of stuff. But like if it's in Hilliard, or if I know that like it's even in Dublin, or they have to drive 20 minutes, like I usually say, do you think your people would drive? Like, I flat out ask them, do you think your people would come to Westerville? And I've had people be like, no, not really. These are work friends. Like, I think they're going to be coming from work or whatever. They tell me. And they give me that feedback. But I also, you guys, I do a ton of open houses, at least 1 a month. I'm up to 2 a month right now. And every month I get new people coming to my open houses. It's crazy. And so a lot of people at my open house, when they come in and they see that I have it all set up, that's when I kind of explain, like, yeah, I do hosted parties here. And I'm like, all you have to do is invite some of your friends over to shop, and then you get the free stuff. And so if they think they only have like 4 or 5 friends that would come, I'm like, why don't you guys just hop in a van and come over one night, as opposed to me packing it? You know what I mean? Like, so I kind of just try to really feel her out on that. I don't know, like, what's near Black Lake?
Yeah, nothing. I mean, it's close to Easton, but like people don't live out here. And it seemed like I had the party that I had a couple weeks ago where 4 people booked. Like the one lady was like, well, I live with my mom, and our house is kind of like whatever, and she's disabled. And I was like, oh, we can have it at my house. That's totally fine. And she got super excited. And she was like, oh, where do you live? And I was like, Black Lake, Gahanna. And she just about fell over and died. She was like, I'm going to have to take the whole day off of work to drive out there. I'm like, it's like 30 minutes away. But I mean, she was just literally about died. So she was like, no, I'm not doing it.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay. But yeah.
The other thing too is I think we can also be smart about doing pop-ups like that aren't necessarily close to home. Like, I know Robin's on here. She's from Kentucky. She went home to like her mom's and did a pop-up over the weekend with like her mom and all her friends. I booked a party, like I had a party in London, which is like a good hour from here. And then I ended up booking a party off of that's in Huber Heights, which is even further away. And I booked it because I'll take the party, right? But it's like an hour and a half probably drive from Westerville. So I'm going to do my darndest to like look in my VIP group and find other people that live nearby and like double book myself. Like, her party's Sunday at 1. I'm going to see if I can do something maybe like Saturday and stay the night, like, or, do some kind of Sunday double or something, because I need it to be worth my time. So I think too, sometimes you can think about like, who lives back home, who lives maybe an hour away that you could message and ask. Like, it doesn't have to be somebody that's right here, like local. So I think, one of those things I would recommend is making that list of people that you want to ask. And thinking of a customized message to send them, as opposed to just like your canned, like, hey girl, want to host a party? I mean, obviously you can have something like that, but adding in something like, I know you love your Julias. Do you want to get a Julia for free? Like, then it will seem more personal. So
what do you guys
Adrian,
do
I have a
when you
question
people
too.
that you've messaged and they are like, oh, let me get back to you, and they never do?
So if they never get back to you, then I would wait a couple days, and then I would probably send a message like, hey girl, my calendar's filling up. I have this date and this date open. Did you want to pick from either of those?
Okay.
And then if they don't message you again and pick a date, move on. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. Somebody else said they had a question, and I have like 2 minutes. So who is that?
That was me. I was wondering what but about like what role is kind of you handle yourself at the parties. Like sometimes I'm in close spaces and I feel like I hover a little bit too much, but I don't want to be like chilling out in the background too much where it doesn't look like I care, like I don't care. I don't want to be the helicopter, but I want to find that balance.
Right. And I will warn you, if my video kicks off, it's not because I don't love you guys. It's because I'm cheap and I do the free version. But what I would say is you definitely want to kind of like bounce around and like, yeah, I mean, you kind of want to like show them and then walk away and then come back a couple minutes later like, oh, did you think about maybe putting this with that? Or, oh, did you see these over here? Like, I get it. You don't want to be the helicopter for sure, but don't just like leave them alone in the other room. I think you can kind of just like dance with it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, like show them some things and then give them some breathing room to kind of feel it out themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good luck with your pop-up on Thursday. I think this is going to cut out. All right, ladies, I'm going to have to stop the recording, but I just want to say thanks for tuning in. Go get them. Book some pop-ups. Fill your calendar and let me know how it goes.
Bye.
Yeah.
Adrian.